Good evening, YouTube viewers. This is Blake coming to you on the 31st of October 2013. I wanted to inform you about my experiences with the city of Moorpark. Now, what you see here is a parking citation issued by the city of Moorpark on September 11th, 2012. The point of this video is to show you how exactly I was able to get out of this parking citation, for the lack of a better term, as I was neither negligent nor was I willfully intent on violating city code or any other jurisdiction for that matter. On September 11th, 2012, I had appeared on the Moorpark Community College campus half an hour prior to class was supposed to have started. Now, in going around the campus, I saw that not only were student parking areas completely occupied, but student vehicles, were parked in the brush, in the perimeter of the parking areas, meaning that there was absolutely no room to park whatsoever in and around the student parking areas. The only places that were available were handicap and fire zones. Obviously, I'm not going to use those. The only place that I could park outside of the adjacent neighborhoods to Moorpark Community College was a fuel station and a restaurant area miles down the road. Had I parked down there, I would have been very late to class, much later than I was. I was about a minute late to class, being that I parked in the adjacent neighborhood. Had I not parked in the adjacent neighborhood and parked down where the fuel and the restaurant areas were, I probably would have arrived halfway through class, being very late. So I decided to go ahead and park in the 1 hour parking zone in the adjacent neighborhood, and the only two cars there were my own and a black pickup truck. Being that I was 1 minute late to class, I thought it was fine since my class was only going to be about an hour and a few minutes long, and I came back after class and noticed that I had been issued this parking citation. Upon reviewing the information on this parking citation, I went ahead and called the city of Moorpark. I was able to get in touch with the Moorpark city clerk, and they advised me to go ahead and get an initial review of this matter completed. So I went ahead and made a formal request for this matter to be reviewed. A couple weeks later, they mailed me back a response telling me that I was guilty for violating city code. So when I went ahead and called back the Moorpark city clerk, she told me that in order to further contest this, I would have to see a judge to get a final determination, and in order to do that, I would have to pay the fee of $58, as you see here, in order to get time with the judge. Now, before I called, I had done some research. And what that research told me is that on the Department of Motor Vehicles for the state of California alone, it says right here, paying a parking or infraction traffic ticket is an admission of guilt or no contest plea. I was pleading not guilty. So had I paid, which is in some some jurisdictions, is considered posting bail, if you actually paid the ticket before seeing the judge, what the court sees that as is double-minded. You're basically contracting with the jurisdiction, and you're letting them know that you are guilty, and it's basically the judge determining whether you're actually guilty or not, even though you already paid. So all in all, they already have you off the bat if you pay to go see a judge. So what did I end up doing? I was told by the city clerk, after I had mentioned this little piece of information from the Department of Motor Vehicles, to go ahead and write a letter to the city manager asking to have my payment waived in order to see a judge. Within a week, I had received a response with a date to see the judge. I went ahead and saw the judge in person, individually, not in a court. I actually went to the city hall of Moorpark in a back room, and they asked about everything regarding the matter. Absolutely everything. From there, they had told me that I was not guilty. And I was given a letter that said that I was relieved of all liability concerning this parking citation. Now, earlier this year, I had to pay for registration for my vehicle, and I went ahead and paid registration. I had to pay an extra $71. That extra $71 was from that very parking citation that you see right here. I went ahead and called up the City of Moore Park again, got a hold of a completely new city clerk, and they got all my information, and they told me that I had been released of all liability, and that the $71 that it had come out to because of late fees, interest, whatever, was actually due back to me, and I have it sitting right here on my desk. City of Moore Park, 799 Moore Park Avenue, Moore Park, California, 930021, made out to myself in the amount of $71.00. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you quote-unquote get out. And what I mean by get out is when you assert to the court that you were neither negligent, because I was not negligent. I actually looked around for a parking spot for a half hour, found no other parking areas, no parking spots, and I was not looking to violate any code. And according to the City of Moore Park website, so long as you do not congest adjacent neighborhoods to the Moore Park Community College, then you cannot be found guilty. And that means that you don't park in front of driveways or anything of that nature or add to any kind of congestion. So with that being said, I added that into my notes to the city manager, and they waived all of my liability. So, recap. If you are issued a parking or traffic citation, contest it first. If you were neither negligent or you were not willfully intending to violate any kind of city code, let them know that you will not pay to see the judge, and that you need to get your payment waived by the manager of the jurisdiction in question. That means if you were cited by the city, if you were cited by the county, whatever, talk to the clerk. And from there, they will determine whether you were liable or not. It really increases your chances on being able to get all this liability released. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great rest of your Halloween. Blake, signing out.